Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're exploring the real power behind taking action. You know the saying, you can't steer a parked car. That's really the essence of it.
It is. We're going to look into why actually doing something, even if it's not perfectly mapped out, is so vital.
Vital for understanding, for building momentum, making connections, even perhaps learning surprising things about ourselves.
And the goal here is to offer a way to grasp why initiative matters so much, sort of a shortcut to understanding its importance without getting bogged down.
Let's start with this idea that action itself is a form of intelligence. It sounds a bit abstract, maybe?
Well, think about it. We often focus so much on planning, on trying to predict everything before we start, but the sources we looked at argue something different.
That the action itself provides the learning.
Precisely. It's a unique kind of intelligence. It gives you immediate, real-world feedback. Planning alone, however thorough, just can't replicate that direct experience.
That resonates with the idea that clarity often comes after you start, not before. You often hear clarity is a result, not a requirement.
And that's so true. Until you actually engage with the situation, put something out there, your conclusions are just, well, speculation.
You can theorize endlessly, but the reality only reveals itself when you interact with it. I think some research even suggests that making early attempts, mistakes and all, actually speeds up learning compared to just planning longer.
Absolutely. Consider launching a project or writing something creative, your initial plan. It almost never survives first contact with reality unchanged.
Unforeseen issues pop up. Unexpected doors open.
And those real-world interactions, they shape your understanding in a way pure thought can't. Action is. It's an unparalleled learning environment.
This seems to flow directly into the next point. Momentum over motivation.
This is a big one. It really challenges how we usually think about getting started.
The common wisdom is you need to feel motivated first, then you act. But this suggests the reverse.
Often, yes. The very act of starting, of putting one foot in front of the other, that physical or mental movement, it actually generates the energy, the drive to continue.
While sitting still can just drain it.
Exactly. Inactivity breeds more inactivity. Inertia is a powerful force. But movement, even a tiny step, creates its own forward pull.
So if someone feels stuck, feeling unmotivated, the advice isn't just find motivation.
It's more like find one small, immediate thing you can do. Focus on the action, not the feeling. Think of a heavy flywheel.
It's hard to get moving initially.
Takes effort, but once it's spinning, it keeps going much more easily. Action can be like that initial push.
It reframes motivation. It's not just the spark. It can also be the result. I mean, think about exercise. You often don't want to start.
But once you do, you feel more energized, not less. The movement itself created the feeling.
Beyond personal momentum, action seems fundamental for connecting with others too.
Absolutely fundamental. How do relationships start? Partnerships, collaborations.
Someone has to reach out, share an idea, take a step towards another person.
It begins with an active engagement. Passivity, on the other hand, it tends to lead towards isolation. Staying still keeps you disconnected.
There's even a neurological angle to this, isn't there? How interaction lights up the brain.
Indeed. Things like mirror neurons, empathy circuits, they get activated when we interact. It facilitates understanding, that shared experience. It underlines that connection is an active process.
You have to participate to connect. It's not something that just happens to you passively. Studies show people who actively engage socially tend to feel, well, better, more connected.
It brings to mind that quote, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
If you don't act, you forego the possibility entirely.
Opportunities for connection, for working together, they simply don't materialize if you remain on the sidelines. Initiating contact, starting that conversation, these are the actions that build bridges.
Now, there's a deeper psychological layer here, too. Action is a form of self-discovery, sometimes called shadow work.
This is quite profound. The idea is that sometimes our reluctance to act isn't just laziness or lack of clarity.
It's fear. Fear of what the action might reveal about us.
That's the suggestion. Taking action can push us up against our own vulnerabilities, our self-doubts, our fears of failure, or maybe even success.
So by acting, we essentially confront these hidden parts of ourselves.
We bring them into the light. Engaging with the world forces us to face these internal patterns, these beliefs that might be holding us back unconsciously.
So procrastination. It might not just be about avoiding the task.
It could be a signal, a signpost pointing towards deeper anxieties about the outcome, about what it means for us if we try and succeed or try and fail.
That makes the act of pushing through that resistance more than just getting something done.
It becomes an act of self-exploration. Potential growth happens right there in overcoming that internal hurdle, however imperfectly you do it.
And, speaking of unexpected outcomes, there's the role of serendipity. Action seems to invite it.
It significantly increases the odds, doesn't it? Serendipity, those happy accidents, those fortunate discoveries.
They tend not to find you when you're sitting at home doing nothing.
Exactly. When you're out there doing things, engaging with the world, you create more points of contact for chance encounters, for unexpected opportunities to arise.
People who are actively pursuing things often seem to have more lucky breaks.
Like attending some random event and meeting someone crucial for your next project. Or starting a small side project just for fun and discovering a deep passion you never knew you had.
Those are classic examples. Being in motion just puts you in the path of more possibilities.
Serendipity seems to favor the engaged, the active, not the stagnant.
It's not just pure luck then. It's about creating a larger surface area for luck to strike.
That's a good way to put it. By acting, you're present, you're involved, you're simply more likely to encounter and, importantly, recognize these fortunate coincidences when they appear. You have to be proactive to set the stage for serendipity.
And every action we take, it seems, feeds into a kind of personal feedback system.
A feedback ecosystem. That's the term used. Every attempt, every project, every interaction, it gives you data back.
Information about what works, what resonates with others, what needs changing.
Where connections might lie. This loop is incredibly valuable. It lets you adjust your course, deepen your understanding, spot patterns you'd otherwise miss.
So if you're not getting much feedback on an idea or project,
It might not mean the idea itself is bad. It could simply mean you haven't taken enough action yet to generate that feedback from the environment.
you need to put it out there more.
Consistent action, even small steps, builds and maintains this essential system. It allows for continuous learning, for adaptation. It turns ideas from static concepts into dynamic interactions,
It makes the whole process alive, really.
which leads to a crucial final point: the consequences of inaction.
It's easy to think doing nothing is neutral. Safe, even.
But the material strongly suggests it's not neutral at all. It's a choice, and it has definite consequences. Missed opportunities, obviously, potential that just goes unrealized, sometimes even a gradual decay of skills or confidence.
I like the analogy of the garden. If you don't plant anything, you don't just get empty soil.
Weeds grow. Undesirable things take over. Stagnation sets in. Inaction doesn't preserve the status quo. Often, things slide backward.
So doing nothing isn't just pausing. It can be actively detrimental over time.
Which brings us back to a core question for anyone listening. What small action, just one, are you willing to take today, even without knowing exactly where it leads?
That initial step to break the inertia.
That's what's needed. To start that cycle of learning, of connection, of building momentum, the cumulative power of small actions over time can be immense.
So wrapping up this deep dive, the message seems really quite focused. Initiate action.
It's through doing, through engaging, that we find clarity. We build that momentum we talked about. We connect. We understand ourselves better.
And we create those opportunities that simply wouldn't exist otherwise.
Consider that final thought. Be the drop that disturbs the still water.
Even a small ripple can travel surprisingly far.
And remember, on a larger scale, small acts multiplied by many people. That's how real transformation can happen. Your individual steps matter. They have potential.
So the parting thought for everyone is, what's your first ripple going to be? What small step will you take, based on these ideas, to get moving?
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Deep Thoughts Podcast. I hope you found insights and inspiration to take with you on your journey of self-growth. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And don't forget to follow us on social media to stay updated on new releases and exclusive content. See you next time, where we'll continue to help you grow and explore your full potential.